believe me when I say that I know that big creative projects aren't easy. It doesn't matter whether your project is to write a novel, build a creative business, train yourself to take beautiful photos, or something completely different. Big projects will always challenge us. But that's also part of the fun. Big projects have the capacity to change us and change our lives. I started trying to write a novel so long ago, and it's what drove me to start blogging in the first place. I started studying the creative process, how our mindsets and ways of working affect so much, and that eventually led me to becoming a creative coach. My journey hasn't been straightforward or simple. It has evolved in a lot of frustration, stops and starts, and crippling self-doubt. Yet here I am with a finished novel manuscript, ready to send to publishers in hopes of one of them wanting it. Many of my creative coaching clients are working on big projects, things that will take, if not years, then at least months to create. Some of them are in the very early stages, figuring out what it is they want to create. Others are in the messy middle of slowly moving forward and reevaluating things as they go. Every phase comes with its own challenges, but regardless of where we are in the process, we are helped by having a good foundation in our project. It's this foundation my clients and I are often coming back to and working on. If you're working on or dreaming of a big creative project, I would advise you to check in with your own foundation from time to time. See if you're working in a way that works for you. So let me tell you some of the things that I think goes into a good foundation for a big creative project. The first part is to have a vision for your project. It might sound obvious, but I think it's so very important for us to have direction in our work. When we're in the beginning of a project, figuring out what we want it to be, what we really want to create, that's when we're creating a vision. Then that vision evolves as we go through the project and learn what the project wants to be. Keeping track of your vision will help you move in the right direction. With a project that takes a long time to finish, distractions will come along the way. You'll likely have ideas that you feel excited about that doesn't really fit with this particular project. You will likely encounter doubts along the way, wondering whether this project was such a good idea and if you'll ever finish it. Doubt can give you the urge to change everything, when in fact the problem isn't the project, it's fear. A clear vision will help you come back home in your project. Whether it's a tangent that have caught your attention a bit too much, or you've not been able to work on it for a while, or doubt has snared you in its grip. Sitting in your vision will remind you of where you're headed and why you want to bring it to life. It will help you decide what's important and what's less so. I recommend having a document with your vision that you update throughout your project. Exactly what goes into this document is of course dependent on your project, but think of it like this. Your vision should help you see what your big project will be when it's done. The second part of the foundation of a big project is how you divide up the journey. Since a big project is so big, it quickly becomes very overwhelming. Thinking you're going to write a book or build a business or become a professional photographer can make the most confident person wonder how it's all going to be done. Instead of thinking of the whole project, think of it as a journey with many parts. Some like to say that a big project isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. But I don't think that's it either. Doing a big project is like trekking. It's like a long hike over many days, going over hills and mountains, resting in your cozy little tent after a full day of walking. While you keep an eye on the horizon, keeping your vision in mind, focus on the current phase of your project. If you're in the beginning, don't worry about the end. Spend your energy on understanding your project and setting the basic structure of it, on trying things out and starting to move forward. If you're in the middle, focus on making progress and evaluating what's working and what isn't. The third part of your project foundation is to continuously hone your skills. Creative projects always require some kind of skill, and it's likely that your vision requires you to strengthen it. Sometimes I see clients get stuck because they know they can't create like they want to. They can't reach their vision right away. So they draw the conclusion that they won't start creating until they're better, hone their skill first, and then start. It sounds logical in our minds, but doing it this way is rarely very efficient. When we learn as we go, we are both able to move forward with our project and to learn from the act of creating. We understand much faster what skills we really need and which aren't so important after all. Writing my first novel has taught me how to write novel. I didn't know how to do it when I began, not at all. I've taken courses and read books throughout the process and applied what I've learned. I've tried to achieve certain things in my writing and then realized it didn't work at all. Writing it has been my biggest teacher. Usually when we decide we need to hone our skill first, it stems back to perfectionism and the fear of criticism. Instead, show up with your flaws in your project and just do your best. The fourth part of the foundation is your joy in the daily work. If you're going to complete a big creative project, you have to enjoy the process. Not love every minute of it, of course. There will likely be some discomfort and tough moments along the way, but you need to like the work. And if you don't, really, why are you doing it? Sometimes we can become too focused on our outcome, on the end result. When we do, our focus shifts from the joy of creating to measuring how fast we're progressing and how close we are to our end results. Then we risk losing the magic and become stressed and perfectionistic. It stops being fun and starts being work. I always come back to joy in my own creative work and with my clients. It's so much easier to move forward steadily when we're enjoying the process. It's so much easier to motivate ourselves when things get hard. Yes, think of your vision and your goals, but lean into the joy of the process as well. Take note of what you really enjoy about your big creative project and how you can tap into it as much as possible. Let your joy guide you. The fifth foundation of a big project is your patience. A big project will take a long time to complete, and probably longer than you think it will. There will be times when this frustrates you, when you feel like you're moving so slow and you will never get there. Writing my novel has taken me many years, fitting it in around a day job and other creative endeavors, and learning how this novel writing thing is done. I have had deadlines that have passed. I have said this year, and the year has ended with no finished book. I've been ashamed of how long it has taken. I've doubted whether I will ever finish it, but I've stuck with it. Taken breaks from working on it, yes, but I haven't given up. I haven't let the winding road and sometimes slow progress be a reason to stop. I see the same in my coaching clients. Often they realize that deadlines have been a bit too optimistic and they get frustrated with themselves for it. We talk about how things often take longer than we'd like, and that the best we can do is to stay patient, make a new plan, and keep going. If you feel like you're standing still and your vision is so far away, look back on where you came from. Think of all you've learned. I bet you come a long way already. The sixth and final part of your foundation is your good mindsets. When I started trying to write a novel, my mindsets were terrible. I was an insecure perfectionist, terrified of failure and even admitting to my own dream. I didn't believe in myself, yet expected great results right away. I hated everything I wrote. If I hadn't dealt with those mindsets and acquired better ones, I would never have finished my novel. I am completely sure of that. After a couple of years of stopping and starting and being way too hard on myself, I realized my dream of writing fiction was slipping through my fingers. Fearing failure became a self-fulfilling prophecy because it kept me from trying and learning. This is why I made 2016 my fear year, a year to face my creative fears. And that's what finally helped me write my novel. A big part of my job as a creative coach is to support my clients to improve their mindsets. We can do all the work in the world on their ideas and their plans, but if the mindsets are in the way, that won't help very much. As creatives, and especially when we set out to bring big ideas to life, our minds are a toolbox. We need it to be working with us, not against us. So take your mindset seriously. Do what you can to make it supportive of your journey. Read books, listen to podcasts, hire a coach, talk to creative friends, and study your own mindset. It will help you more than anything else. It feels almost surreal that I have completed my novel. Of course, if a publisher wants to publish it, then there will be more work to do, but this part of the journey has come to an end, and to be honest, it feels amazing. And if I, with all my doubts and fears, can do it, so can you.